All right, people. Hello, aloha. I'm Dave, and this is Save America. Vote Tulsi Gabbard. Um, I'm on YouTube here. It's funny because when you watch a video through, you get all these other suggestions here, and people can kind of see my viewing habits here. we got, by the way, this interview, Mike Gravel on the Jimmy Dore Show. This is one of the great interviews you'll watch if you're I don't know, astute politically and understand the military-industrial complex. And uh, Gravel just goes into, I mean, he's 89 years old, and he's sharper than attack. What's this? I don't know what this is. Oh, Michael Tracy. Of course, my friends at RT America. Status Coup. Fault Lines, which is a fantastic show. Um, this was a scary video. I watched this. This was Nico talking about Trump's huge, as Trump would say, rally. And it was. And he believes this should scare. Look, they're going to have a tough time if they run a corporatist against Donald Trump, because he's got economic numbers that are impressive. And I understand that the economy has not basically been equal for people, but if you've got a number, if you're saying the stock market is up, you're saying unemployment is down, you can say, and you know that Trump's going to use this all day long. Censorship, Jimmy Dore, and then we got this article here from, I don't know why I got this one because I don't watch this guy. But these are all suggested things. Now, the important video, though, here it is. Tulsi Gabbard talking directly to Donald Trump, doing something that other presidential candidates are not doing.
President Trump, your Iran strategy has been ill-advised and very short-sighted. You need to change course now and get back into the Iran nuclear agreement before it's too late. Set aside your pride. Set aside your political calculations for the good of our country. Just do the right thing.
And that's it. That's the video. Frozen. That's a good Frozen image of Tulsi Gabbard. Look, people, the reason, again, I keep doing these videos where I say the reason I am supporting Tulsi Gabbard, it's, believe it or not, it's not because of all of the real hardcore social programs that she advocates for. Although I am a big fan of forgiving student loan debt, I'm a big fan of a minimum wage that's a living wage. What else? I mean, I can go down the list of the things that I'm a fan of. However, this issue to me, the fact that we are now doing more than saber rattling with Iran. We've had a false flag event happen, whether you believe that or not. I do. I believe it was a false flag event where the ship was supposedly attacked, and now we have to respond, and then they shot a drone down, and so now that gives us a pretext to go in and, all hell is supposed to now break loose, and we're supposed to do what we always do. Advocate for war and probably regime change. We've already sent 1,000 troops. So for all of you more conservative types who say, well, these Democrat progressive type things cost too much money. How much did it cost us to deploy 1,000 troops to Iran? What's the dollar figure on that? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody know? All right, well, the problem is, we advocate for peace and people think that we're soft or that we don't have a backbone or we're not, being what we're supposed to be, which, if you watch some of that Mike Gravel speech, he actually takes the founding fathers to task. And, it's, for a lot of us, it's hard to understand that maybe our country had some defects in it when it began. It certainly did. There's no question about it. but there is a sentiment in the country, I think, which says we're not gonna, we're the greatest country on earth, and we're not gonna, look back at our past, and we're not gonna analyze anything. Here's what's happening though. If those same people are just gonna give Donald Trump a blank check to do whatever he wants to do with the military, and Tulsi Gabbard has come along, and she's the first person in well, Ron Paul did it too. He did it too. But Tulsi Gabbard has a much higher chance of getting somewhere politically than Ron Paul, because she's got great ideas when it comes to the economy, and she's got great ideas when it comes to breaking apart the military-industrial complex. And that scares most people on the right, but most people on the right, by the way, don't favor going to war with Iran. I mean, poll after poll. Why would we go to war with Iran? And nobody's really for it, except the media, who seems to be making all kinds of excuses, and not that they're liking Donald Trump at all, but they find a way to kind of say, okay, let's just not talk about Trump, but let's talk to one of his military advisors. And let's bring him in, because this person is smart, and they're going to tell us why Iran needs to be neutralized. We're going to have Mike Pompeo. They love to talk to Pompeo. Pompeo, at least he's an honest tyrant. Okay, he goes out there and says, "Hey, we learned how to lie, cheat, and steal. That's what we did, and here we go again. Pretext for war, false flag event." Very familiar to weapons of mass destruction, and you can go back to Vietnam, for crying out loud. We needed some type of an event. Jimmy Dore had this video of a guy who was basically telling his audience how the United States more or less lies its way into war, and then gaslights, I would say, the American public. And it was a scary video, because all us Russian bots, all of the conspiracy theorists out here who are advocating for a relationship with Russia, or peaceful negotiations or diplomacy like Tulsi Gabbard, immediately, well, you're not with us, then you must be with Putin. Really? I'm not with you. I'm not with you on sending soldiers to die. If you want to wake up in the morning feeling good about yourself because you think soldiers should die, because that's I did 2 videos ago, and it wasn't very well viewed, because it was like, I'm gonna hit you with a hammer here and tell you that if you're not for Tulsi Gabbard, and Bernie Sanders to some degree as well, but if you're not for Tulsi Gabbard, then you are for more death and more destruction. You are for that. You believe it's collateral damage. It's a necessary evil. Come up with a cliche that you want to, but this is the first woman in my lifetime, candidate, well, I'd say woman, but just presidential candidate in general, who has advocated for peace and diplomacy and keeping your powder dry. All right? Now, people are concerned about her in some circles, like the TYT gang, because she serves in the military. And right there, you can't trust somebody who's actually serving in the military, that all of a sudden, if she becomes commander-in-chief, she's just going to press every button and blow everything up. No. I think her faith, her life experience, her service actually informs her decision-making in such a real way. I mean, it's so much more credible than like Kristen Gillibrand or Kamala Harris, who have none of these experiences. By the way, add the candidate of the month, Elizabeth Warren, to that list, because, again, what kind of life experiences, would prepare somebody for the idea of peace? Well, Tulsi's seen war up close. And many veterans, by the way, support her, because they're saying the same thing. Hey, I served my country. some people go off to war because it's a matter of finances. They get a job in the military and then they're called into action. They get paid lousy, by the way, for doing this. All right, but the fact that we have this war machine that for some people it's the only way out of poverty, or it gives them a leg up, or they provide education, or they do something, they entice you into the war machine with other things that are going to help you, supposedly. If you get back home and you're not, like, fried, and if you're not a vegetable, and if you're not just PTSD for the rest of your life. And Tulsi Gabbard sees this. She's trying to say, whoa, let's not do this again. Let's, pull back. Let's, and she's lecturing Trump, which the other candidates, they call out Trump, he's a Russian. You hear these generalities, like Bernie Sanders will say, he's the most dangerous president in our lifetime. Okay. But why, Bernie? Is it just because you think, his brain isn't firing on all cylinders? Because that's what you hear all the time, that he's crazy, he's not all there. Well, he's crazy kind of like a fox. So if you're going to beat him, you're going to have to outfox him. And the way to outfox Donald Trump is to run a sincere candidate like Tulsi Gabbard, who connects with American voters. It's a daunting task, though. You watch that video that Nico House did about the Trump rally, and you think to yourself, this isn't going to be easy. And a lot of progressives don't care about it. They don't even want to talk about it. You got to run somebody, first of all, with issues, all right? You got to run somebody who can face off against Trump, stare him down, and win the argument. And thirdly, you need somebody who is kind of like a younger, fresher, has just a different perspective on things. And Tulsi, she's a made-to-order winning candidate in this election cycle. And the Democrats, they could care less about Tulsi Gabbard. If Tulsi Gabbard, I'd rather see Tulsi Gabbard screw everything up, run as a third party. I know Trump probably gets in again, right? Because it'll split some of the vote. But that vote probably wasn't going to vote for the corporatist Democrat anyway, whether it's Biden or Warren. I'm just hoping and praying that Bernie or Tulsi can break out after these debates. And then the media is going to have to cover the situation, because what's happening now is if all of these poll numbers are skewed to the corporatist candidates, if they're all skewed the wrong way, the media is going to be doing this. Well, we didn't see this. Our polling numbers didn't see this. No, because you polled all the wrong people so you could get the results that you wanted. So then you're going to be doing this backtracking thing, which makes you look like fake news again. It makes you look incompetent again. This is why more and more people are coming over to independent media. And all we're doing much of the time is we're doing videos where we'll read an article from like Mint Press News or something that's legitimate, something that has a perspective that's not trying to slant. They're just reporting on the events, and yeah, they may have a take on it, but it's not like, therefore you need to vote for Joe Biden, because he's not Donald Trump. All they're doing, again, is providing accurate perspective. So Tulsi Gabbard, she's a once-in-a-lifetime candidate. I keep saying it. She's calling out President Trump. She's been doing it consistently. Even back in the day when she first started running, back in the early days of her campaign, and she was doing it and saying that, hey, Trump, Saudi Arabia is your B, which I thought, you're going to say something. She can get a little salty with the language, but she only does it, by the way, it's not frivolous, it's not gratuitous. She only does it when there's a real point to be made, and she wants your attention. She wants you to know that this particular issue really gets under her skin. And that's what makes Tulsi even more special. Like Joe Rogan said, she's a real human being, all right? Genuine, you talk to, and it's there. She relates. She can sit down and talk to you. So if I ever sat down with Tulsi Gabbard, I'd say, hey, you're the real deal. I don't know anything else about you other than the fact that you're a real deal at the beginning of this campaign. And then I learned more about Tulsi Gabbard, and I realized that not only is she sincere, but on the issues, it's just she cares about us. She really cares about us. She cares about her country. She would be a great commander-in-chief because she'd be tough, but she'd also be sincere, and she'd empathize with the quote-unquote little people, me and you. So, all right, and if you're not a little person, you're probably not watching my video, so you're probably watching Marco Rubio or somebody who has never seen a war that he doesn't want to start. He's just a horrible politician. And, he's over on Twitter the other day just ranting and raving about more war. And it's like, dude, we don't need more war. We need to end the wars. And Tulsi Gabbard, she's the only one I think who can really do that. Maybe a little Bernie Sanders in there. We'll see how this all shakes out. I'm Tulsi all the way until, again, she's either commander-in-chief or she's mathematically eliminated. And who knows? Yeah, I know she might be a great vice president, but I really would prefer her to be the CEO of the whole operation. So we'll see what happens in these debates. For now, I'm done. I'm Dave. Thanks for supporting me. I'm going to put my email address for PayPal in the description of this video. So if you'd like to donate, help me out over on PayPal, because revenue on this channel is it's kind of silly at this point. But I soldier on because Tulsi is, she's the real deal. All right. See you soon.